Our lesson for today comes from Matthew 6th chapter, 25th to 34th verses, and James, the 4th chapter, 14 and 15th verses. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you? You of little faith. So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. James 4:14 and 15 says, why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while, and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. My dear brothers and sisters, we live in an age when man has seemingly forgotten about the true and living God, the creator of heaven and earth, and everything that was made. Man does not honor God and has made gods out of things. There was a time when this country was known as a Christian country, had a larger percentage of Christian believers than all other countries. But now that has changed, because today there are several countries that have a higher percentage of Christians than the United States. Based on the Pew Research Center report, out of 196 countries in the world, 87 of them have a higher percentage of Christians than the United States, with only 71% total. And 21% of those are Catholic. So if we take away the Catholics, only 50% of the U.S. population is Christian. We have about 2 generations of young people who've never seen their parents read from the Bible or say a prayer or go to church. They disregard God and church entirely. Many simply don't believe there is a God. They don't believe in heaven and hell. It's getting worse, seemingly each decade. When I was a child growing up, I honestly thought that everybody went to church, believed in God. I was in my 50s when I realized that there were so many people who had never been to church. It really shocked me. No wonder the world is in the condition that it is today. We just take for granted that we will wake up in the morning. We will go about our daily lives all on our own. We accomplish our goals and plans because we're so smart or determined. We don't give God credit for any of it. It's almost as if man has made himself a God. Reminds me of what James said in John 8:44. He You're of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and stayed not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Jesus said these words. The devil did not want to honor and obey God. He wanted to set himself up above God, was able to convince a third of the angels to join him. But God kicked him and the angels who followed him out of heaven. Today it seems that man is trying to set himself up above God. It's always I did, or I will do. I. It's not if the Lord's will, but by God's grace I will do. Man seems to have simply pushed God out of everything. Our schools, our homes, government, and even some of the supposed to be houses of worship. My brothers and sisters, the Bible is still saying, without God, you can do nothing. For in him we live and move and have our being. Man is like to vanity. His days are as a shadow that passeth away. Psalms 144:4. The psalmist cries out to God in Psalm 39:4-6. Lord, make me to know my end and to measure my days. What it is, that I may know how frail I am. Behold, you've made my days as in handbreadth. My age is as nothing before you. Truly, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Surely, every man walks in a vain show. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heaps up riches and knows not who should gather them. Tomorrow is not in our hands. No one knows what tomorrow brings. The only thing we know about tomorrow is that it is uncertain at best. Therefore, we should focus on today, one day at a time. Today is all we have. Yesterday is a canceled check. It's already spent. Tomorrow is not promised to us. But if God blesses us to see tomorrow, then it becomes today. So remember, only today is ready cash. This is the day which the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Do all the good you can today. Many find themselves worrying and getting stressed over something that they have no control over. Many times the thing that we're stressing about is something off in the future. We have a deadline that is 3 weeks away. Sometimes it's even 3 months away or longer. But we're making ourselves sick worrying about how we will be able to make the deadline. But think about it. A lot can happen in 3 weeks or 3 months. The deadline could be moved further back. The project could be canceled. And really, who can guarantee that you will be here in 3 weeks or 3 months, even 3 days or 3 minutes or seconds from now? Stress is not good for you. According to health authorities, stress can contribute to the development of major illnesses, such as heart disease, depression, obesity, and that some types of stress can trigger heart attacks, arrhythmias, and even sudden death, particularly in people who already have cardiovascular disease. The World Health Organization has called stress the health epidemic of the 21st century. 110 million people die every year as a direct result of stress. That is 7 people every 2 seconds. So why not heed the words of Jesus and don't worry about tomorrow? You're not in charge, he is. So why not just put it in God's hands? Trust him. You take it one day at a time. Today is all we really have. And today We have eyes to see. So see the good in others and be happy. Today we have ears to hear. So hear what the Spirit is saying to the church and be happy. Today we have a voice to talk. So tell the world about Jesus, his goodness, and be happy. Today we have hands. So whatsoever your hands find to do, do it with all your might and be happy. Today we have feet. So walk upright before God. Today we have a place to stay. We have food to eat. We have clothes to wear. Today we're alive. So rejoice and be happy, one day at a time. Remember, you're a child of the King. We're sons and daughters of the Lord. So give someone today. Forgive someone today. Hug someone today. Pray for someone today. Call someone today. Smile at someone today. Tell someone you love them today. Tell somebody about Jesus today. Be happy. Be thankful. One day at a time.